Hello everybody, we are going to learn about area of kites and rhombuses today. So there's a few formulas right at the beginning. The area of a rhombus is 1/2 the product of the length of its diagonals. Remember, diagonals go from end to end. So here is D2 and here is D1. So it's 1/2 D1 times D2. So this is for a rhombus. So you can find the rhombus formula in your notes. The next one is for a kite. It is actually the same formula, 1/2 D1 times D2. So today, for this video, is just one formula, 1/2 D1 times D2. So it says find the area of the rhombus if QT, so QT is this right here, from Q to T, is 8 centimeters. And then RT, which is right here, is 11 centimeters. Now remember, our formula is D1 times D2. So I need to know this whole length and this whole length. Now if this part is 8, this is a rhombus. So if you remember a rhombus, the diagonals bisect each other. So that means that this is 11, this would also be 11. If this is 8, this is also 8. So that means your whole diagonal up here would be 16. And down here is 11 plus 11, which is 22. So sometimes they're going to give you partial ones, sometimes they're going to give you the whole diagonal. But remember, area is 1/2 times D1 times D2. So we're just going to fill in D1, which is 16. D2 is 22. So your calculator, you would punch in 1/2 times 16 times 22. And I'm going to get 176, and we're talking about area, so it would be centimeters squared. One diagonal of a kite is 2 times as long as the other diagonal. So I'm going to draw a kite. And it says one diagonal. So here's one diagonal, here's the other one, is 2 times as long as the other. Well, this is kind of like the problems we've done in the past. If I make one x, 2 times that would be 2x. Now the area, so I'm given the area is 56.25 inches squared. So I want to find what are the lengths of the diagonals. So my formula, remember, is D1 1/2 times D1, which would be 2x, times D2, which is your x. So I plugged in 56.25 for my A, and then I punched in the formula with D1 and D2. Now let's simplify. 1/2 times 2 is 1. X times x is x squared, so 1x squared is the same as x squared. Now to get rid of the square, I square root. So the square root of 56.25 whoops. Is, I don't know that in my head, got to get a calculator. .5. So now it says I need to find both diagonals. So D1 I'm going to make is 2x. It doesn't matter which one because it doesn't say. So this is 2 times 7.5. which would be 15 inches. This one would just be 7.5 inches because that was just your x value, which your x value is 7.5. So there is your D1 and D2. So find the area of the figure. So this could be split up into lots of different shapes. What I'm going to have you do is, and there could be a couple different ways, but I'm going to split it up into a parallelogram and a rhombus. Remember the parallelogram is base times height. Remember it's not side times side, so it's not 3 times 5. So I need to find this length right here. This is the height of the parallelogram. Now, this is 1 tick mark, so all of those are 3. Double tick marks are 5. So, if you see, there's a right triangle. So I can find this length right here by using Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 9 equals 25. X squared equals 16, so x would be 4. So there's my 4. Now I know my the area of the parallelogram would be base times height, so your base is 3. The height would be 4. Okay? The height, remember, is the distance, so it's just like this right here. That's my height. The distance between the two bases, the 3 and the 3, so that is 4, so that would be 12. Now the area of your rhombus, remember, is 1/2 times D1 times D2. D1, let's go from here to here. This would be 8. D2, 3 plus 3 is 6, so it would be times 6. So 1/2 times 8 is 4, 4 times 6 is 24. So the area of the whole figure would be 12 plus 24, which is 36 units squared. Another way to do this problem is if you look at this top here, it's a trapezoid and then a triangle. So you could have done it that way as well, or you could have found the parallelogram in 4 triangles. There's a lot of different ways to find this area. Alright, that was 5B.